Of all the weapons the United Nations are using to win this war, food is among the most important. Food to keep our husky young fighting men fit. Food to give them the strength to battle for freedom. But in addition to food that must go to the warrior at the front, there must be food for the worker at home. The man who makes the guns and ships and planes and tanks that will bring us the final victory. Then there must be food for all the rest of us who are doing our part to win the war by keeping fit, able, and healthy so that we can work harder, longer, and better at whatever our daily tasks may be. Until this war began, we in America were blessed with an abundance of food. Our land was rich with all the treasures of vegetables, fruits, and grain, and meat that we could desire. None of us needed to give a second thought to the possibility that there might be a scarcity of any food. But today, out of our abundance, we must feed many mouths. Now, half the civilized world looks to America to save it from starvation and death with a never-ceasing flow of food. To plant that food, to cultivate it, harvest it, transport it across the nation, and across the seas is a task that today taxes to the utmost our facilities of manpower and transportation. Yet this vital flow of food for freedom dare not, must not be stopped. In spite of sunken ships and trains that must carry steel, oil, coal, and lumber, instead of food, in spite of every obstacle, we must feed our fighting men, our allies, and ourselves if we are to win the war and right the peace. This, then, is a challenge to every loyal American citizen. What can we do to help win the war with food? The answer to that challenge comes from Washington, from the Office of Civilian Defense. Victory gardens. That's the answer. We can grow food for victory in our own backyards and even in vacant lots where perhaps only weeds flourished before. Because so long as this war lasts, great quantities of food must be grown. Anywhere and everywhere we can find good soil to nourish the seeds.
Victory Gardens, cultivating hope and sustenance during war. During times of great adversity, nations often turn to their citizens for support, not just in the trenches, but also in the backyard. Victory Gardens, a widespread initiative during World War I and II, symbolized resilience, resourcefulness, and a collective effort to sustain life during war. These gardens were far more than patches of soil. They were powerful tools of survival and unity. Let us delve into the roots of the Victory Gardens, their flourishing campaigns, and the profound results they achieved, shaping a chapter of history that still inspires today. Victory Gardens emerged as a solution to critical challenges faced during the World Wars. Food supplies were stretched thin as agricultural resources were redirected to feed soldiers on the front lines. Coupled with rationing and transportation shortages, the need for supplemental food production became urgent. Governments encouraged citizens to take matters into their own hands by utilizing any available space, yards, parks, rooftops, and vacant lots to grow fruits, vegetables, and herbs. The idea wasn't merely practical, it was symbolic. Planting a garden represented active participation in the war effort. From rural families with expansive plots to urban dwellers with a few potted plants, everyone could contribute. Victory Gardens become a bridge connecting civilians to soldiers, emphasizing that every effort, big or small, mattered. They embodied the philosophy of grow what you eat, reducing dependency on commercial food supply chains and ensuring a greater allocation of resources for troops overseas. The promotion of Victory Gardens was nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. governments and organizations launched massive propaganda campaigns to spread awareness and encourage participation. Vibrant posters displayed slogans like "Dig for Victory" or "Grow Your Own, Can Your Own," inspiring citizens to turn spades into tools of defiance against scarcity. Community groups and schools joined the movement, teaching gardening techniques and sharing seeds. Media played an instrumental role, radio broadcasts providing gardening tips, and the celebrities joined the cause to lend their influence. Comic book characters like Superman and Mickey Mouse were depicted championing victory gardens, appealing to children and families alike. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt made headlines by planting a victory garden on the White House lawn, demonstrating that even leaders were dedicated to the cause. These campaigns created a sense of urgency and pride. Gardening became a patriotic duty, a way to unify communities and instill hope. Workshops, posters, and public events transformed the act of gardening into a widespread movement, galvanizing millions. The fruits of victory gardens were astonishing, both metaphorically and literally. By 1943, Americans had cultivated over 20 million victory gardens. These gardens yielded approximately 8 million tons of produce, nearly 40% of the nation's supply of fresh vegetables. Citizens grew tomatoes, carrots, beans, peas, and a variety of other crops, significantly alleviating food shortages. Beyond sustenance, the psychological impact was profound. Victory gardens fostered a sense of accomplishment and unity. Communities bonded over shared efforts, exchanging seeds and recipes while celebrating their collective contribution. Children learned the value of hard work. Families found solace in tending to their plots, and neighborhoods flourished with greenery despite the shadow of war. Victory gardens also empowered individuals, especially women, to take active roles in the home front. Gardening transformed into a skill, a form of independence, and an expression of solidarity. These gardens exemplified how a seemingly simple act could have far-reaching consequences, bolstering morale and ensuring the nation's survival. Victory gardens stand as a testament to the power of collective action and the resilience of the human spirit. They remind us that even in the face of great challenges, ordinary people can achieve extraordinary outcomes by coming together and contributing what we can. The legacy of Victory Gardens is not just one of sustenance, it's a legacy of hope, unity, and determination. As we reflect on this remarkable initiative, may it inspire us to find ways to unite and persevere, whether in times of war or peace. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found it interesting. Have a good day, guys.